I just want to wait 10 seconds more and then I will start the session. Efendim herkese günaydınlar diliyorum. Ben Feraye Gürel, Türkiye Cogeneration Derneği'ni temsilen bugün sizlerle online etkinliğimizde beraber olacağız. Efendim herkese tekrar günaydınlar diliyorum sayın başkanlar, çok kıymetli firma temsilcileri. Ben programı başlatmadan önce çok kısa birkaç bilgi vermek istiyorum. Etkinlik dilimiz İngilizce, ancak etkinliğimizde İngilizce ve Türkçe olarak her iki dilde de simultane çevirimiz var. Lütfen sayın takipçilerimiz, hangi dilde takip etmek istiyorsanız session'ları, o dilin butonunu tıklayarak konuşmaları takip edebilirsiniz. Ekranınızın hemen altında İngilizce ve Türkçe butonlarını göreceksiniz. Etkinliğimizde soru ve cevap kısmı olacak. Ancak soruları yazılı olarak yine aşağıda gördüğünüz chat box'tan bizlere ulaştırmanızı rica ediyoruz. İstediğiniz dilde soruları yönlendirebilirsiniz. Biz buradan çevirileri yapacağız. Soruyu yönelttiğiniz konuşmacının adını ve hemen akabinde kendi adınızı firmanız ile belirtirseniz işimiz çok daha kolay olur. Sorularımızı tüm firma sunumları bittikten sonra alacağız. Oldu ki zamanımız kalmadı, çünkü biraz zaman kısıtımız da var. Soruları bize ilettiğiniz takdirde biz seve seve konuşmacılara sorularınızı ileteceğiz. Onlar da size mutlaka cevaplarını aktaracaklardır. Ben Finli misafirlerimize, konuşmacılarımıza kolaylık olması açısından akışı bundan sonra İngilizce olarak devam ettirmek istiyorum müsaadelerinizle. Çok teşekkür ediyorum şimdiden. Representatives of Turkish and Finnish energy sector, dear Ambassador, General Manager of Energy Affairs from Energy Ministry, Chairman of Energy Business Council and Chairman of Finland Business Council of DEIK, company managers and friends from press, welcome to our Waste to Energy online event, which we organize within the frame of Turkey and Finland Energy Cooperation. Today, beside our expert speakers, we have really very important companies operating in the energy sector. Before I introduce them, I would like to thank and express my gratitude, our gratitude, to the Embassy of Finland, all Team Finland members, the Business Finland team, and the Turkish Cogeneration Association, who provided really very important supports in the emerging of this important event. Dear all, I know that we have very limited time. With your permission, now I would like to invite Finland's ambassador to Turkey, Mr. Mäki, to the screen to make his welcome speech.
Yes, hello.
Mr. Ambassador, welcome, sir.
Me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Hyvää huomenta.
Hyvää huomenta.
Mr. Ambassador.
Oh, thank you. Joo, hyvää huomenta kaikki. Good morning, good night to everyone from Ankara. I'm very happy to witness more than 100 participants, and this is really a very good opportunity. And I would like to thank the organizers for this very topical webinar. This is great. This great idea indeed. And I would like to start by saying waste is not waste. It's a matter, and it's nowadays of today of great value. So waste is really, it's not anymore that we just dump it somewhere and in the landfills or somewhere, but it's nowadays it's of value, and we can reuse that and recycle that plenty of times. And so this is very important to change this in a way in our minds, that it's not just litter of waste. It's something that we can always reuse. And I think now we have really realized this importance here in a worldwide, but at least in Finland. Finland has one of the best waste management systems in the world, and around only 1% of all waste ends up into landfill. We have a very long tradition in utilizing waste into energy production, and for decades, for example, the waste and side streams in the forest industry have been successfully utilized in energy generation. Additionally, during the last few years, energy conversion and recycling of waste has displaced landfilling as the main form of municipal waste disposal. And I can see that everywhere in Finland when I travel around in my home city in Helsinki or other places. So there's all kind of bio plants and energy plants which are based on waste. This is really important topic, and I hope that this is something that we can work together with Turkey. We have lots of know-how here, and also it's also something that we can work together with the Turkish companies, for Turkish municipalities, and it's just to find proper channels and proper people, and then we I think then we just say yes, we are ready here for your service and for your cooperation. And cooperation always goes 2 ways and both ways. So I'm very happy to have this seminar here. I'm very short. I keep it very short here so that the real experts can discuss, and the companies they can present themselves. So I would like to have you a very beautiful, nice day today in waste. Waste is not waste; it's a matter, and it's of value today. This is my saying. Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, I totally agree with you. Waste is not waste. Waste is matter. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for this warm and informative welcome speech and for being with us today. It's really great to see you here today, and also great honor for us to host you as an opening speaker, sir. We would like to thank you again for organizing and supporting such a nice and successful event, and establishing a business bridge between Turkey and Finland, sir. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite the President of Turkey and Finland Business Council, Mr. Haluk Kalyoncu, to the screen. Halil Bey, welcome Halil Bey. Hoş geldiniz Halil Bey. Buyurun efendim, ekran sizin, screen is yours.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, Your Excellency, dear participants, dear panelists, dear organizers, Business Finland and ICIC, actually ICCI. I am delighted and honored to be here, especially in the same slot with the ambassador, Mr. Mäki. We are at a very interesting stage of our lives. We are in a very interesting environmental stage of our world. And waste is waste. That's what we used to think. But waste is really a resource. Recovering that waste, which is like a gold mine, in my opinion, and doing whatever we can is ever so important. And that importance is increasing every single day. But to be able to efficiently use waste and to be able to sustain the future of humankind, it is absolutely crucial to come to terms with our environment, or sometimes, as joyfully referred to, with Mother Nature. And to do this, we have to increase the awareness of sustaining the viability of our environment. So programs like this are so important. First, to increase the awareness of this crucial point, and then to act on them. As the chairman of Turkey-Finland Business Council of DEIK, again, it's a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to be here today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'd like to end my brief introductory speech with a little poem from our famous poet, Nazım Hikmet. First, with the permission of you and with the permission of the interpreters, I'll recite it in Turkish. And then I will actually recite it in English. Seni düşünmek güzel şey, ümitli şey. Dünyanın en güzel sesinden en güzel şarkıyı dinlemek gibi bir şey. Fakat artık ümit yetmiyor bana. Ben artık şarkı dinlemek değil, şarkı söylemek istiyorum. Thinking of you is a beautiful thing. It's very hopeful. It's like listening to the best song from the best voice of the world. But hope is not sufficient for me anymore. I don't want to listen to the song anymore. I want to sing the song. So really, truly, it's about time for all of us to start singing and acting after all these great activities organized by the organizers. So without further ado, I want to thank you all, and I'm looking forward to listening to the panelists and the participating companies from Finland and Turkey. And please remember, as DEIK's Turkey-Finland Business Council, we are always here, we're always ready to improve the wonderful existing relations and to enhance our activities for the benefit of our countries and our companies. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for this lovely poem, which I love very much. And thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear audience, we continue our opening speeches with sectoral presentations. Now, I would like to invite Business Finland Energy Team Leader, Ms. Zofia Stelmaszczyk, to the screen. Dear Zofia, good morning.
Good morning.
And please accept my deep, deep apologies for my poor pronunciation regarding your surname.
Absolutely, your
but
presentation
I did my
was correct.
best. I did my best.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for this invitation. I'm deeply honored to be speaking to such excellent audience today and numerous audience. Now, my role is to bring forward a little bit of Finnish expertise related to waste management, so that we can sing the song. This was nicely said by my predecessor. So if I try to share my screen now, is it seen? May I still ask? Can you see my screen? Very good, thank you. Slideshow mode, yes, there we are. So, as said, I'm representing Business Finland, and then our organization mission is to catalyze new sustainable growth for Finland, and we do it through innovation and international collaboration. And that is why we have met here today to discuss about collaboration, what we can do together, and then how we can solve together some of this waste problem and circular economy problems which we all face. Finland has a great and very ambitious targets when it comes to climate and energy. And I think that is for benefit of all of us to actually use this experiences and extensive waste R&D knowledge together. What we can achieve together is produce the cleanest energy in the world, and also do it pragmatically, so do it in a cost-efficient mode. If I move forward to some key figures from Finland. It has already been mentioned by Mr. Ambassador that actually 99% of municipal solid waste in Finland is being either recovered or recycled. This is a tremendous figure. Only 1% of the waste lands there at the landfills. And what I would like to mention to you is also that Finland has got this carbon neutrality target at 2035. Finland will be carbon neutral. So actually these two go hand in hand. When we talk about hierarchy of waste management in Finland, it has to be stressed that first of all, it is do not produce waste, avoid waste. Then the second thing is to utilize as much possible in material recycling. So make all streams used further. And then there is a recovery in energy manner, very important in Finland, and only then landfilling. If we talk about what Finland has in the offering, what Finland can offer, there are 5 actually areas which I want to bring forward to you. First is about municipal solid waste to value, and for example, there we have very strong offering on waste pretreatment and separation, and then a whole block of waste to energy solutions and reducing the landfilling. And I know that in many countries, actually everywhere, there is this problem that landfilling takes too much space. It is also in Turkey. There are large metropolises, and then landfilling takes more and more space. That's a common problem for all of us. Then if we move to sustainable bioenergy solutions, so Finland is a leader in actually generation in CHPs, in combined heat and power, and also a very good solution in hybrid off-grid solutions. Then we can talk about advanced biofuels, and I would maybe stress here production of biogas from waste and using it further as a vehicle fuel. Interesting chapter. High efficiency power plants. So yes, Finland is good at it, and this is about fuel receiving and handling. This is about heart of power plants, so boilers, burners, also micro turbines, and also operations and maintenance services. And then last but not least, circular economy solutions for industries. So various types of slaughterhouse waste, pulp and paper industry, and then agro industry related residues. Yes, now I have 3 slides on which I have listed some Finnish companies, and I'm not intending to spend too much time on it. You will receive this presentation and can perhaps go through it if it's of your interest. Some excellent examples of Finnish companies that are doing everything in this slide, from logistics to recycling. If we look further, energy from waste. So here we can talk about several issues. There is a biogas production, because organics, it is not only not more the option for the organics to be put to the landfills. And we will hear more about biogas today. We have excellent companies here like Doranova, and also in this group Econnect, Duktor, Mettener, Vatrek. There is RDF and different fuel handling systems, and we will also hear more from companies today about it. There are heat recovery and boilers and burners solutions, and quite holistic approach to these. We will hear as well for companies like Valmet and Voima, Sumitomo Foster Wille today a little bit more. And then some waste management design and consulting services and waste efficiency in industrial process services. Please study more and approach us with questions if this is of your interest. Now I would like to move to some best practices and some cases from Finland. I have selected actually 3 for you to bring it forward a bit. First one is an eco-free. And what is eco-free? Eco-free is an industrial eco park. And well, this is an area of about 120 hectares near the city of Nokia and Tampere. And what they aim at, their goal is to actually turn all the waste into circular economy. So waste are no longer the waste, they are raw material for somebody else. And then landfills in that landscape are no longer needed. This is a kind of competence center and demonstration and piloting. They have started about 3 years ago, and this still continues. So new companies are coming and testing their solutions there. How it looks like here. Basically, this is very complicated drawing and lots of small prints. But what I want to stress, city of Nokia in the middle, and commerce and industry and construction there, then also agriculture. And for me, the most important thing is actually these arrows. And these arrows show how the materials move. And for example, if we look at from city of Nokia, bio-waste comes to biogas plant. Then also biomasses from agriculture come there. What comes out is fertilizer for agriculture. What comes out is biogas. There comes also CO2 conversion and production of chemicals and polymers. So without going into further details, I mean, everything that is produced as waste somewhere and what is not needed anymore can be utilized by then some other company, by somebody else. That's the philosophy behind it. Yes, my next example is about Vantaa and its waste to energy as element in decarbonization. Basically, the Vantaa Energy is like electricity and heat producing company in the city of Vantaa. They have an ambitious target of going neutral by carbon neutral by 2030. What they need to do in order to reach these is to, first of all, phase out the coal, and it will happen already in next year. And this will be one of the enablers for this is the completion and expansion of its innovative waste to energy plant. Then last year, they actually started to develop the concept with company Wärtsilä about how to produce the synthetic methane there and then how it could be further used. They intend to use green electricity to produce in electrolysis the hydrogen. Then they intend to extract CO2 from the emissions from the existing waste to energy plant, and out of this produce synthetic methane. This methane will be used for fueling the waste trucks which they have and which like deliver the waste to energy plant, and also in winter in heating peaks this will be used instead of fossil natural gas in district heating. So again, they are aiming here at closing the loop. Here the drawing or chart how it looks like. So number one is this waste to energy plant. Number two, power to gas facility where they will produce this synthetic methane, and then their district heating plant. Again, some kind of symbiosis between these different players. And then yes, I'm running out of time, so very shortly, Lahti case. Lahti is a city in Finland again, about 2 hours drive from Helsinki. And actually in 2021, it is a European green capital, and they have plenty of very interesting climate positive initiatives. What I would like to bring here is actually waste management again, and then how this is the part of the puzzle. If you look at the picture on the left-hand side, in 2007, they used to landfill about 55% of the waste that were collected. And now in 2021, they are landfilling about 1%, and all the rest is either recycled, material recycling, or utilized for energy purposes. This is a tremendous path forward, and how it was possible. It is because they were stubborn and they just went step by step via different developments. For example, started separate bio-waste collection in 95. In 98, they started extensive separation at the source with 5 waste types. Then 2005, composting was brought into being. Then in 2014, biogas, and so on and so forth. Really impressive. Now, I think that if you would be interested to hear more about these cases, I would like to encourage you to approach us, to approach our colleagues in Turkey, excellent Turkish teams in Business Finland. And with these words, inviting you to cooperation, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Perfect. Dear Zofia, thank you very much for this detailed and very informative presentation. It was great. Thank you again. Dear attendees, as I've been informed a minute ago, DEIK Chairman, Energy Chairman, Mr. Haluk Kalyoncu is having some technical problems, I think, so he will be a little bit late. So with the permission of our General Manager, Mr. Murat, Zekeriya, Aydin, actually, Haluk Bey, you are here, I think. I was just going to change the speaking order.
Merhaba.
Merhaba. Günaydın.
Sayın Genel Müdürümüz nasıl uygun görürse o şekilde. Ben seyahatteydim. O yüzden şey yapmadım.
Evet, evet. Tamam.
Tabii buyurun.
O zaman
buyurun. Tabii.
Tamam. O zaman sırayı bozmayalım. Let's continue. Let's stick to our program then.
Olmayabilirdi. Arabada açtık hemen.
Harikasınız Haluk Bey. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. O zaman programa sadık kalalım. Let's stick to the program and continue with your speech. Dear attendees, I would like to invite Mr. Haluk Kalyoncu, DEIK Business Council Chairman. Screen is yours, Mr. Kalyoncu.
Türkçe yapıyoruz değil mi konuşmayı?
Tabii. Siz Türkçe yapabilirsiniz. Simultane çevirimiz var. Hiçbir sıkıntı yok. Buyurun efendim.
Hello everybody. Herkese merhabalar. Sayın Genel Müdürüm, kıymetli Büyükelçimiz, değerli Finlandiya, Türkiye İş Konseyi çalışanları ve başkanı, çok değerli DEIK mensupları ve tabii ki organizasyonda emeği geçen Feraye Hanım'a herkese merhabalar. DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak pandemi sürecinde birçok faaliyetlerimizi online olarak gerçekleştirdik. Bu sene pandeminin sona ermesiyle beraber ilk toplantımızın ardından geçen ay Münih Messe Fuarı'na yaklaşık yenilenebilir enerji alanında faaliyet gösteren 8-9 firmamızla beraber katılım sağladık. Münih'teki bu fuarda Türkiye'de üretilen yerli ürünlere, özellikle güneş enerjisi alanındaki yerli üreticilerimizin tüm aksamlarını Türkiye'de üretilen güneş enerjisi üreticilerinin tüm aksamlarını, Türkiye'de ürettikleri ürünlerini orada tanıtma fırsatı bulduk. Özellikle ülkemizde artan yenilenebilir enerji yatırımlarında ürün tedariki anlamında önümüzdeki yıllarda yurt dışına ihracata odaklı çalışmak isteyen firmalarımızın orada tanıtımını gerçekleştirmelerine vesile olduk. Bu anlamda oraya katılan ve orada yine ortak işbirliği yapmak amacıyla gerek Avrupa'nın çeşitli ülkelerinden, gerekse Çin ülkesinden ve gerekse farklı ülkelerden gelen hem dünya ham madde tedarik problemlerinin enine boyuna irdelenmesi için yapılan workshoplara katıldı temsilcilerimiz. Hem de Türkiye'deki firmalarımızın Avrupa'daki firmalarla ve Uzak Doğu'daki firmalarla yenilenebilir enerji anlamındaki dünyadaki tüm tedarik ve yatırım konularını ele alınması üzere toplantılar gerçekleştirdik. Bunun da koordinasyonunu ve kendi firmamız ve diğer güneş enerjisi yatırımcılarımızla beraber orada gerçekleştirme fırsatı bulduk. DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak gerçekleştirdiğimiz online toplantılarda da ülkemizin dünyadaki bu dönüşümü yenilenebilir enerji anlamında son 20 yılda ciddi anlamda arttırdığı öngörülmektedir. Bilhassa 2017 yılında Milli Enerji ve Maden Politikası'nın Enerji Bakanlığımız tarafından benimsenmesiyle ciddi adımlar yapılmıştır ki Enerji Bakanlığı, Enerji İşleri Genel Müdürümüz Sayın Murat Zekeriya Bey de mutlaka bunlara değinecektir. Türkiye'nin güneşten efektif yararlanma düzeyinin yüksekliği, rüzgar enerji santralleri kurulmaya uygun bölgelerinin bulunması, yine yatırımcı ve girişimcilerinin bulunması, yabancı yatırımcıların ülkemizde bulunması sebebiyle de gerçekleştirilen yine biyokütle, rüzgar ve güneş enerjisi yatırımlarının artması, yaklaşık %53'lük enerji üretiminin %53'lük kısmını yenilenebilir enerjiden kullanılma seviyesine gelmesi gelecek açısından da ülkemiz adına ümit vericidir. Tabii ki bunun güneşteki oranı, rüzgardaki oranı ve diğer oranları yine Enerji Bakanlığımız tarafından değinilecektir. O yüzden hızlı geçiyorum. Türkiye'de yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarının genişletilmesi, enerji dönüşümümüzün çok önemli bir parçası haline gelecektir. Yine bu dönüşümde altı çizilmesi gereken en önemli noktalardan birisi de uluslararası işbirlikleridir. Bu anlamda biz DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak geçtiğimiz sene European Green Deal konusunda 3 farklı toplantı gerçekleştirdik. European Green Deal çerçevesinde Almanya, ABD, Çin, Rusya, Avrupa Birliği ülkeleri başta olmak üzere birçok ülkeyle ortak yatırımları, ortak teknoloji kullanmaları, ekonomik yapılanmaların ve iklim işbirliklerinin değerlendirilmesini birlikte gerçekleştirmek üzere European Green Deal'ın ülkemizde de tüm Avrupa Ses geliyor mu şu an?
Geliyor. Sıkıntı yok. Buyurun efendim.
European Green Deal kapsamında Avrupa Birliği üyesi ülkelerle de gerçekleştirdiğimiz toplantıların ülkemizde de farkındalık oluşturmak amacıyla, yani yenilenebilir enerjiye dönüşürken, yatırımları yaparken bir yandan da DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak bu konunun toplumsal bilincinin de irdelenmesi gerektiğine inanıyoruz. Bu vesileyle European Green Deal kapsamında eğitim faaliyetleri yürütülmesi gerektiğine inanıyoruz. Tabii biz bunu sadece düşünerek ve inanmakla kalmayıp farklı çevrelerde, farklı platformlarda yenilenebilir enerjinin yeşil mütabakatın yayılması anlamında farkındalık oluşturmak amacıyla İş Konseyi toplantıları ve toplumsal bilincin sıfır atık ve atık kullanımı tüketimine yönelik eğitimler, seminerler, özellikle genç nüfusta bilinçlendirme faaliyetlerinin, eğitimlerinin ve bunları farklı ürünlerle toplumumuza, kendi ülkemizde ve farklı ülkelerde yansıtma gayreti içerisinde olacağız. Bu faaliyetlerimizde ilk uluslararası online çalışmasını, ülkemizin ilk çalışmasını Aralık ayında, 10 Aralık'taki toplantımızda başlatacağız. Bu çalışmaların da özellikle nüfusların ve toplumların sıfır atık anlamında, emisyon azaltılması anlamında tüketim bilinciyle alakalı da faaliyet gösteren sivil toplum kuruluşlarımızla ortak hareket edeceğiz. Özellikle bu anlamda Çevre Bakanlığımızın İklim Değişikliği Başkanlığı ve Cumhurbaşkanlığımızın Değişikliği Başkanlığı da özellikle daha kapsamlı faaliyetler yürütecek. Biz de DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak bu faaliyetlerde üzerimize düşen rolü yerine getirmeyi düşünüyoruz. Ben özellikle tüm katılımcılara çok teşekkür ediyorum. Enerji İş Konseyi ve tüm DEIK sektörleri olarak tüm çalışmalarımızın bu anlamda devam ettiğini sizlere bildirirken, bu yıl Kasım ayında Glasgow Birleşmiş Milletler İklim Değişikliği Çerçeve Sözleşmesi'nin 26. Taraflar Konferansı'nın da yapılacağını ve takip edeceğimizi bilgisini vererek tekrar Avrupa Yeşil Mütabakatı'nın jeopolitik risklerine uyulması ve bunları yönetmek için bir DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak tüm dış politika faaliyetleri sürdüren yöneticilerimize, Enerji Bakanlığı'na, Çevre Bakanlığı'na DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi yönetimi olarak raporlarımızı iletiyor olacağız. Bu anlamda Avrupa Birliği üyesi ülkelerden European Green Deal ile birlikte faaliyet gösterdiğimiz kıymetli çalışma arkadaşlarımıza da çok teşekkür ediyorum. Uluslararası Enerji Ajansı'nın son yayınlanan raporunda da 2050'ye gelindiğinde küresel enerji tablosunda 2 milyar insan ilave olacağı ve bu da tüketimin artacağı anlamında 2050 yılına gelindiğinde enerji arzının yine yüksek olacağı için yeni yatırımlar yapılması gerektiği de ortadadır. Bunun da büyük ölçüde yenilenebilir enerjiye yapılması, karbondioksit salınımının azaltılması hepimizin artık o farkında olduğu ortak bir görüş alanıdır. Bu anlamda ben sözlerimi de daha fazla çok uzatmak istemiyorum. Tüm katılımcılarımıza, herkese tekrar Katılımlarından dolayı teşekkür ediyorum. DEIK Enerji İş Konseyi olarak uluslararası çalışmalarda tekrar görüşmek üzere. Herkese iyi bir çalışma günü diliyorum. Teşekkür ederim.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Haluk Kalyoncu, thank you very much for joining us today and for your important messages. We wish you continued success, you and DEIK as well. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day. İyi günler diliyorum efendim. Sağ olun.
I thank you to all. Have a nice day to everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Dear attendees, now we have a very important speaker. It's a great honor for me to introduce Mr. Murat Zekeriya Aydin, General Manager of Energy Affairs from Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources. Mr. Murat Zekeriya Aydin, good morning. It's great to see you here today. Thank you very much for joining us. Screen is yours. You can make your presentation Turkish or English. It's up to you. Thank you.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum Feraye Hanım. O onur bize ait. Sizler tarafından böyle adlandırılmak gerçekten onur ediyor bizi. Sizlerin bizi sunması da gerçekten bizler için bir onur kaynağı. Onu biliniz. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun Genel Müdürüm. Sağ olun.
Çok kıymetli ve saygıdeğer Büyükelçimiz, Finlandiya Büyükelçimiz, değerli DEIK İş Konseyi Başkanı, enerji takım lideri, çok kıymetli Enerji İş Konseyi Başkanı, ben de kıymetli katılımcılar hepinizi şahsım ve Enerji Bakanlığımız adına saygıyla selamlıyorum. Türkiye ve Finlandiya makamlarının atıktan enerji üretimi alanındaki işbirliği kararına vurgu yapan bu etkinliğin enerji alanında uzun erimli köklü bir dostluğun da temeli olmasını umuyorum. Etkinliğin düzenlenmesi sürecindeki katkıları için her iki ülkedeki kurum temsilcilerimize şükranlarımı sunuyorum. Atıktan enerji üretimi sadece bugünün sorunlarına bir çözüm getirmekle kalmayıp döngüsel ekonomik süreçleri de kapsayan çok disiplinli ve çok sektörlü, yüksek ekonomik verimliliğe odaklı bir geleceğin kapısını açmaktadır. Türkiye başta yenilenebilir enerji alanında olmak üzere gösterdiği yüksek ivmeyi gelecek dönemde atık ve biyokütle gibi yüksek entegrasyon gerektiren alanlarda da sürdürmeye devam edecektedir. Değerli katılımcılar, bilindiği üzere enerji, ekonomik ve sosyal kalkınmayı mümkün kılan birçok hizmetin temel bileşenidir. Ve ülkemizde son 19 yılda ekonomi başta olmak üzere birçok alanda büyük ve hızlı gelişmeler kaydedilmiştir. Bu dönemde yıllık ortalama %5.1 oranında ülkemiz büyümüş ve 2002 yılında 238 milyar dolar olan gayri safi yurt içi hasıla değeri 3 katına çıkarak 717 milyar dolara ulaşmıştır. Aynı dönemde nüfusumuz da 17.2 milyon kişi artarak 83.6 milyona ulaşmıştır. Hızlı büyüme ve nüfus artışının doğal bir sonucu olarak enerji talebinde de ciddi bir artış yaşanmıştır. Ülkemizin birincil enerji talebi son 19 yılda yıllık ortalama %3.8 artarak 77 milyon ton eşdeğer petrolden 144.2 milyon ton eşdeğer petrole ulaşmıştır. Aynı dönemde elektrik talebi de yıllık bazda %4.7 artarak 132,5 terawatt saatten 305 terawatt saate yükselmiştir. Bu seneyi 329-330 terawatt saatle bitirmeyi öngörüyoruz. Bir başka deyişle Çok rakama boğdum, özetliyorum. Bir başka deyişle birincil enerji talebi 2 katına, elektrik enerjisi talebi ise 2,5 katına yükselmiştir. Şimdi bu noktada 2 katına çıktı, 3 katına çıktı diye bunlar söylenmesi çok kolay, dile kolay şeyler ama bu artışları yönetmenin zorluğunu takdirlerinize sunuyorum. Tabii bakanlığımız tarafından yapılan uzun dönemli projeksiyonlarda da bu artış trendinin devam edeceğini ve yıllık bazda enerji talebinde %3,5'lar mertebesinde bir artış olacağını öngördüğümüzü ifade etmek isterim. Enerji ihtiyacımızın sürekli, kaliteli, katlanılabilir fiyatlarla karşılanması için milli enerji ve maden politikası kapsamında ortaya koyduğumuz daha çok yerli, daha çok yenilenebilir felsefesinden hareketle öngörülebilir piyasa yapısının sağlanması ve enerjimizin milli ve yerli teknolojiler ile üretilmesi için çalışmalarımızı tüm hızıyla sürdürmekteyiz. 2002 yılında 31.800 megawatt olan kurulu gücümüz yıllık ortalama %6 artarak, biraz önce elektrik enerjisi üretimindeki artışı vermiştim. Burada da kurulu güç artışımızın oranını ifade etmiş oluyorum. %6'lık bir artışla bu kurulu güç değerimizde 98.789 megawatt'a ulaşmıştır. Kurulu gücümüzün %64,8'ine karşılık gelen 64.000 megawattı yerli, %53,3'üne karşılık gelen 52.669 megawattı yenilenebilir kaynaklardan oluşmaktadır. Bir başka deyişle kurulu gücümüzün yarıdan fazlası %53,3'ü yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarımıza dayalıdır. 2020 yılında devreye aldığımız kurulu gücün neredeyse tamamı yenilenebilirdir. Bu yılda %90'ların 95'ler mertebesinde bir yine yenilenebilir enerji kaynağı katılımıyla bu kurulu gücümüzü arttırmaya devam ediyoruz. Tabii bu önemli bir artış, beslenmesi gereken bir ekonomi var ve bunun sonucu olarak da gördüğümüz bu ciddi yenilenebilir enerji yatırımlarıyla dünyada 9. Avrupa'da da 4. ülke olduk 2020 yılında. Yerli ve yenilenebilir kaynaklarımıza yaptığımız bu yatırımların önümüzdeki dönemde de artarak devam edeceğini ifade etmek isterim. 2002'de 28 megawatt olan biyokütle kurulu gücümüz neredeyse yoktu diyebiliriz 2002 yılında. Bugün artık Eylül ayı sonu itibariyle 1870 megawatt'a ulaşmıştır. Hedefimiz tabii bundan sonra da yerli ve yenilenebilir kaynaklardan maksimum ölçüde faydalanma prensibiyle ve felsefesiyle yine biyokütlede de mümkün olduğunca biyokütle kaynaklarımızı kullanmaya dayalı bir politika gütmektir. Bilindiği üzere biyokütle enerjisinin güneş ve rüzgar gibi diğer yenilenebilir kaynaklardan temel bir farklılığı var. Biyokütle enerjisi rüzgar ve güneşte olduğu gibi salt elektrik enerjisi üretim kaynağı değil. Atık yönetiminin en önemli parçalarından biri. Bu bağlamda biyokütlenin esas amacının atık yönetimi ve bertarafı noktasında çevre yönetimine katkı sağlamak olması gerektiğini ifade etmek isterim. Bizim bakış açımız da hep bu oldu. Elektrik enerjisi üretimi bu faaliyetin bir yan ürünü olup YEKDEM kapsamında verilen destekler atık bertaraf maliyetlerinin daha uygun seviyelere düşürülmesini hedeflemiş oluyor. Bu bakımdan atıktan enerji üretimi, atığın ortaya çıktığı üretim proseslerinin ve kentsel süreçlerin ekonomik performansını destekleyen kritik bir bileşendir. 5346 sayılı yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarının elektrik enerjisi üretimi amaçlı kullanımına ilişkin kanun çerçevesinde yenilenebilir enerji tesisleri için teşvik mekanizmasını uzun bir süredir uygulamaktayız. Bu yıl başında yapılan düzenlemelerle bu desteği bazı değişiklikler yaparak önümüzdeki yıllarda da sürdürme kararı aldık. Ayrıca kanunda yer alan biyokütlenin tanımında atık yönetimi odaklı, diğer sektörlerle barışık ve tamamlayıcı değişiklikler de hayata geçirilmiş oldu. Mevcut durumda bu değişiklikler ile yenilenebilir enerji destek mekanizması kentsel atıkları, bitkisel yağ atıklarını, tarımsal atıkları, ormancılık endüstrisi atıklarını, arıtma çamurlarından elektrik üretimini destekleyen geniş kapsamlı bir yapıya kavuşturulmuştur. Ülkemizde bu kapsamda işlenebilecek atıkların teorik enerji değerinin 34 milyon TEP yani ton eşdeğer petrol yıl olduğunu belirtmek isterim. Bu rakamı neye göre veriyoruz? Bakanlığımızın hazırladığı biyokütle enerji potansiyel atlasına dayalı olarak bu rakamı ifade etmiş oluyoruz. Bu gerçekten önemli bir atlas ve bu biyokütle enerji potansiyeli atlası ülkemizin hangi bölgesinde, hangi biyokütle kaynağında ne ölçüde faydalanabileceğini gösteren dinamik bir coğrafi bilgi sistemi uygulamasıdır. Atlasa bepa.enerji.gov.tr internet adresinden ulaşarak sizler de analizlerinizi ve araştırmalarınızı gerçekleştirebilirsiniz. Bu vesileyle bu önemli hizmeti Enerji Bakanlığı olarak sektörümüzün kullanımına sunmuş olmaktan dolayı duyduğum memnuniyeti ifade etmek isterim. Değerli katılımcılar, fazla da vaktinizi almadan konuşmamı tamamlamak arzusundayım. Bu kıymetli etkinliğe destekleriniz ve katılımlarınız için bakanlığımız adına sizlere teşekkürlerimi ve saygılarımı sunuyorum. Bu işbirliğinin ülkelerimiz arasındaki ilişkilerin güçlenmesi sürecine katkıda bulunmasını diliyorum. Tekrar saygılar, sevgiler, sağ olun, var olun.
Sayın Genel Müdürüm, çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Öncelikle çok bilgilendirici bir sunum oldu. Paylaşmış olduğunuz rakamlar için de çok teşekkür ederiz. Yabancı konuşmacılarımız ve takipçilerimiz için hakikaten çok önemliydi bu bilgiler. Sizleri görmek çok güzel. Ekrandan da olsa inşallah yüz yüze görüşeceğimiz fiziki etkinlikler yakında gerçekleşir. Yüz yüze de görüşürüz Sayın Genel Müdürüm. Tekrar teşekkür ediyorum efendim bizlere vakit ayırdığınız için.
Bilmukabele görüşmek dileğiyle. Sağ olun.
Görüşmek üzere efendim. Sağ olun. Dear attendees, I would like to thank Mr. Aydin, General Manager of Energy Affairs from Energy and Natural Resources Ministry, for his informative speech and also for the important figures that he has shared with us. Dear attendees, we have come to the end of opening speeches now. I would like to thank to all our opening speakers who participated and added value to our online Waste to Energy event with their speeches and presentations today. Now we will continue with Finnish company presentations. We are 10 minutes behind from our program, not too bad. For your permission, now I want to invite our first speaker, Mr. Jaakko Heinonen, Sales Manager of BMH Technology. Mr. Heinonen, welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good
morning. Your presentation is ready.
Okay, good.
And full screen, everything is fine. You can start.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So hello for everybody. My name is Jaakko Heinonen. I'm representing of the company which name is PMH Technology. Please, next slide. We are a very old company. We have founded 1929, and our name at that time was Lönnström, quite many years, and now it's PMH. So we have over 90 years of experience in material handling of various forms, and we are one of the global leaders in the energy technology sector and one of the biggest system suppliers in the world. So next, please. Some figures from our company. We have a little bit over 150 workers. Our headquarters is in Rauma, Finland, and offices also Pori and Tampere, and subsidiaries in Sweden, Poland, Spain, and China. And turnover was to 2020 a little bit over than 50 million euros. Next, please. So then what we will do, we are producing equipment and systems for waste refining and also for solid biofuel handling. And of course, we also have life cycle services like spare parts, inspections, maintenance, and modernizations. And our company activities are product development, sales, project management, equipment and system design, a workshop, manufacturing. We have our own workshop quite close of our plant, and also we have erection and installations, test runs, commissioning, and customer services. Next, please. I'm telling a little bit about waste refining solution. Next, please. This is the main idea. There are a lot of waste around the world, in the landfills and everywhere, and we can make very good quality fuel from that waste. And with this fuel, it's possible to replace fossil fuels in energy production. Next, please. This is a typical, let's say, line from waste handling system. In the beginning, we have very big bunker, which is feeding the big crusher. And then there is a separation part where we are separating magnetic metals, fine fractions, non-magnetic metals, and heavy inert fractions. And finally, we have very good quality fuel for energy production. Next, please. This is a quite typical, let's say, layout from that kind of plant. And if we will need more capacity, we only will add the numbers of the lines. Next, please. And then about the solid biofuel handling solutions. Next, please. This is a typical layout from solid fuel handling process. In the beginning, there is a fuel receiving station, and then we have screening station and storage, which can be A-frame storage or silo type of storage. And from this storage, we can feed straight fuel to the boiler. Next, please. This is another picture also from the same thing. So in the beginning, we have fuel receiving, and then we have fuel quality control, where we can take out ferrous metals and crushing the oversized particles. And finally, we have fuel storages and feeding to the boiler and or cement plant. Next, please. As I told, we are a very old company, and we have a lot of references around the world. And here you can see our references. The green ones are fuel handling system references, and the blue ones are biomass handling system references. Mainly we have references into Europe, also a lot of in Asia and some of America. Next, please. So, and you can find more information from us from our website, pmh.fi, where you can also find our reference videos and read our success stories. Thank you for my part. Thanks for everybody.
Dear Jaakko, thank you very much for this presentation. And you just finished on time. Congrats.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Dear attendees, bye-bye. Dear attendees, now I want to invite Mr. Burak 25oğlu from Daranova, company representative. Mr. Burak 25oğlu, welcome. Hoş geldiniz.
Merhabalar.
The screen is yours.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Sunumu ben İngilizce yapacağım. Umarım bir sıkıntısı yoktur.
Great. This is what we want actually.
Okay, so I am representing Daranova. Daranova is a company based on biogas production. We were established in 25 years ago on 1995. In the beginning, it was purely doing soil remedification projects in Finland. But in 2005, we started doing biogas and landfill gas developments. And in 2009, we delivered the first plant in Finland, in Kite. And then we moved to Estonia for landfill gas solutions, and later on in Vietnam. And we are doing consultancy and research for landfill gas in Ukraine right now. In the meanwhile, we developed back in the time the biggest biogas plant in Finland, Jepua, in 2013. And lastly, we designed a new digester system we call Heart Farm, and it has been operational since last year, which I will be describing in detail. So, as most of you might know, biogas has three main customers. Number one is farms, second is energy producers, and the third one is waste management. And this is the one I would like to focus because waste management is the primary goal of biogas production. It is not the energy, but mostly the waste management solution. And Daranova patented a new solution that the current solutions that cannot produce results. So we have three different plant concepts. The first one is wet farm, which is more like a classical approach, that is wet anaerobic reactors, which the substrates, the waste is in mixable form, which has lower solid ratio. Then we have the solid farm, where it has up to 25% dry matter, and a little bit more challenging, that needs a different approach. And then in the last part, we have the hard farm, which is our patented solution, which is having where the waste has so much solid matter and impurities, large particle size, that it is not possible to process with the classical methods. And this is especially designed for organic fraction of the municipal solid waste, which is a big case in Turkey, where the waste separation is not done in the source, in the homes, but it's done in plants where the one single truck brings all the waste to the same location and is separated by hand or by automatic solutions. But it's the separation for the organic fraction is generally not enough to process them in regular biogas plants. So for wet farm and solid farm, I will not go into detail. These are pretty classical solutions, but I would like to mention one thing, that in Finland and the rest of the world, one developing trend for biogas production is not electricity production. It's actually being fuel. So what we do is we purify the biomethane into up to 99% purification, which can be used as fuels, or it can be pumped into the existing natural gas systems. And that's why in Finland, if you look around the municipalities, a lot of municipalities are using biogas as their bus and truck fuel. And also there are applications where they are mixing it with ship fuels, the natural gas fuels in the ships, to have renewable methane in the system. And when it comes to hard farm, we developed this most efficient organic fraction of municipal solid waste for biogas production. And this is a completely scalable concept. It can be as low as 10,000 tons per year to 160 tons per year, depending on your needs. And it has been engineered to focus on stability and mechanical durability. The problems that the other solutions that have is, after a while, the process stops because of either biological instability due to impurities or problems with the mechanical mixing. And we have our first plant that has started operations in last year, and we get our patent granted in December last year. And we have other hard farm plants on the production right now. So when should we use hard farm? Is when you have high dry content and when you have the liquid amount is very low and you have a lot of impurities. It can be sand, rocks, or plastics, or whatever that's not biomatter in the system. And it is very flexible, and reactor capacity can be built in a flexible scale. So today you might need 30,000 tons per year, and 5 years you can increase it to 100 tons without a problem. And we try to make it as automated as possible. And our solution is ensure stable operations, and maintenance and fixing tasks are easily conducted. And in here you can see the concept of the hard farm. And if you know a little bit about biogas plants, you might consider this is a very unique way of mixing. And the way we do is we heat the walls, floor, and also the circulation shaft. So the heat efficiency is covered in all ways, and the mixing is completely optimal and optimized to deal with this kind of challenging tasks.
Last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and as last of us, what I want to mention is this is very important concept for Turkey, where we don't have, unfortunately, source separation. And organic fractions of our waste is generally going to incineration, which is less than 10% efficient compared to biogas production. So this is going to be the future, and in the future, what we are expecting is it will offer, biogas production will offer a way to capture CO2 from the atmosphere and together with hydrogen to convert it to methane. So this has already been discussed, so I will not go into detail. And thank you for listening to me, and hopefully we will achieve great success in the future.
Mr. Burak Yirmibeşoğlu, thank you very much for your presentation and joining us today. Dear attendees, now I want to continue with Jyrki Holappa, General Manager, Business Development, Fortum Power and Heat. Mr. Holappa,
thank you very much.
Are you with us? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm with you, and
I can see myself
can,
on your screen.
Okay, that's very nice. So
it's good that I look slim. I'm happy to see myself. Screen is yours,
so
Mr. Holappa.
I can't really say that is it any better now, but let's say, is it any different now? But, so now we have, hopefully you can see now the slide.
We can see it. Okay.
So anyhow, good morning to everybody. And my name is Jyrki Holappa, and I'm from Fortum, and I'm representing specifically a business unit in Fortum, who is providing services and solutions both to our internal business units, divisions, but then also as well to external companies to Fortum. So basically, I'm now focusing on operation and maintenance service, as our agenda today is basically waste to energy side quite much, and here highlighting in a topic then what we are typically focusing on the OTM is highest availability and efficiency to owners, irrespective whether we are talking about Fortum or other owners of the power plants. On the left-hand side of this very busy slide, basically describing the Fortum in general, because it's very important to understand that what comes to our solutions and services, we are always basing them to our own assets and experiences when we are working with our own assets, and basically we are not offering anything to anybody unless we have tested and proved by ourselves with our own fleet. Regarding Fortum, then we are really an energy company, and we are third largest CO2-free electricity producer in Europe, and nowadays we are together with Uniper, and that has really grown our size, and this is how then we go forward. And also what comes to then productions, I'm not going to go through these figures. You can see on the left-hand lower corner. Then regarding our services in a Fortum level, then so we are clearly the energy company, and but we are also what we are also providing to customers in addition to energy, and in the future we are looking at, of course, not only energy, but we are also looking at nowadays also the hydrogen economies and all that. But we are then providing solutions and services to improve asset performance. And what comes to asset performance, it's not very straightforward always what it really means, but we do fully understand that it's always a bit case by case where the importance and the preferences regarding performance. But typically we are talking about availability of the energy production facility or waste to energy plant capacities, thermal efficiency or any other efficiency, how the performance is measured technically. And then a life cycle perspective as well is important to us always. On the right-hand side, I have highlighted some of these projects and references regarding our operation and maintenance. The first one, I have put down here, is a Mäki waste treatment and recycling center. And this is one good sample where we have been developing now for decades, you could say, our capabilities and assets regarding treating not only municipality waste, but also hazardous waste. And we have developed recycling, sorting, and this kind of assets in this one big complex. And then the second few samples there are also representing cases and projects where we are owner. And then the last two ones are just samples that where Fortum has no investment and Fortum is not investing, but we are providing operation and maintenance for the other owners. That's about the generic, and the only thing I have still here planned today to go through with you is that what comes to operation and maintenance of waste to energy type of plants. The first thing here is always, of course, important to understand that what kind of technology, what kind of plant we are now talking about. And what comes to waste to energy plants, we all know that there are many challenges. Technically, we are talking about challenging fuel type of power plant, and then also it really differs from case to case that where is the biggest importance what comes to operations. Typically, waste-to-energy plants have, of course, high priority to deal with the waste, so it's a waste management topic, but also then electricity production and efficiency of making electricity out of the waste is sometimes very, very important too. But it really varies from case to case, but it's very important that this is properly understood what comes to operating and maintaining the plant. Then what again regarding OTM, and when there are many stakeholders involved in this kind of project, it's very important to understand how the risks are diversified among different stakeholders in the project so that it really is functional and makes sense and it's properly balanced. Otherwise, it tends to lead to problems if that's not properly.
Last 2 minutes.
Great, thank you. And then regarding project financing, then quite often there are requirements from the financing parties that whoever is operating and maintaining the plant is a so-called bankable party, meaning that has sufficient capability to execute such a project and such a role. Then always what we are promoting is that it's important regarding OTM to look at guaranteed performance, and the performance again might mean different things project specifically. And in the end here, I have highlighted that the cost control and return of investment is always important irrespective of the project. A little bit different ways to measure it, but that's very important. So we have basically full understanding of all of these elements as we are both owning power plants and operating those, but then also we are dealing with OTM contracts where we are not owner. That's all I thought to share with you today. Hopefully it was useful, and thank you very much for this chance to present this.
Mr. Holappa, thank you very much for this nice presentation and for using the time efficiently. Thank you. Now I want to continue with our next speaker, Mr. Stuart Campbell, CEO of Griffin Refineries. Mr. Campbell, welcome.
Hello, hi.
Hello, the word is yours. Yes,
Good.
Yes, perfect.
You can see the screen. Right.
Yeah, okay.
It's a pleasure to be with you all today. Thank you very much for the invite. So just a quick introduction to Griffin. We're a Finnish company based in Helsinki. Very much focused on the circular economy as very much the focus of today. So you'll see in the presentation we've got 3 parts to our business. And it's all around circular economy principles and really sort of benefiting the environment and environmental responsibility. We're headquartered in Helsinki, but we also have offices in London and in Dubai to cover the Middle East market. And that gives us a really good insight into local markets and legislation and regulation as well. So picking up on that positive environmental impact point, we are very much focused on following the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and I've just picked out some of those goals here. And I believe the presentations will be shared. So obviously anybody of interest to that can dive in sort of deeper in your own time. And I've just picked up the bottom point there on the slide. You can see I'll talk about our RDF plant, our refuse-derived fuel plant that's operational now in the United Arab Emirates. But that plant will reduce CO2 usage by over 250,000 tonnes a year. So we're very proud of that plant and the contribution it's going to make to the UAE carbon reduction goals. We all know about this, the need for effective waste management solutions, and exactly the reason that we're all on the presentation today. We really need to drive forward in reducing landfill reducing plastic waste and reducing fossil fuel usage. And that's what Griffin solutions are all about. The Griffin way of thinking, we're a project developer. I'll talk about the projects that we're developing there. We also invest in projects where necessary, and we operate plants as well. We're operating the plants, the RDF plant out there in the United Arab Emirates. We work with equipment suppliers to supply sort of best-in-class equipment, and we've got our finger on the pulse in terms of the materials and the trading of those materials. So the 3 business units, I'll just very briefly explain what we do there now. So fuel from waste, focused on refuse-derived fuel, particularly. We've got our first plant operational. That went operational 12 months ago in the United Arab Emirates. It's a build, own, operate, transfer project with the government of the UAE and Ministry of Climate Change and Energy. We've got local partners there. So Griffin is one of 3 partners in the projects. Investment size of 33 million euros, and it's the first refuse-derived fuel plant operating in the Gulf region. And really, that's dealing with over 1,000 tons of municipal solid waste a day, and creating an RDF fuel. So that's diverting waste from landfill, replacing the local coal that's used by the cement plants with RDF, and therefore reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, as I mentioned earlier, by over 250,000 tonnes a day. We're using BMH technology in that plant, by the way, as well. Plastics recycling, our second part of our business. We run the Business Finland ecosystem around plastic waste refining. So we're bringing together over 30 companies, and that ecosystem is growing, and we're trying to sort of develop co-learning and co-opportunities for project development. And then we've also just launched a joint venture in Finland around enhanced producer responsibility. So you probably know about this. This is EU legislation that's driving up the waste directives, that's driving up the requirement for recycling targets. So along with a joint venture partner there, Reclay Group from Germany, we've launched an extended producer responsibility company that will be really taking care of recycling as we go forward in Finland. We're providing consultancy services about improving packaging design, and taking care of packaging recycling, and particularly around plastics as we go forward. And that next stage for that we'll be launching a producer responsibility organisation. That could be very useful intelligence and knowledge that we've got in this sector that we could apply to the Turkish market as well. And then the final part of our business is around organic circularity. So that's composting, particularly. It's all around sort of making sure we capture the benefits of green waste and organic waste. And we've got our own technology here. It's a high efficiency, high speed composting drum that can basically circulate the goodness of that material back into the agricultural sector. As explained on this slide that you can all see. We're deploying our first, thank you. We're deploying our first units here initially in the Italian markets and the Spanish markets. And again, I'm sure this will be very applicable to Turkey, but it's basically composting that material so it meets the high levels of EU standards and producing a high quality organic compost. Very quickly, as I mentioned, we've got 3 locations, Finland, UAE and the United Kingdom. And you can see on this slide here the markets that we're already operating in. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And it was lovely to present to you. Thank you.
Mr. Campbell, it was lovely to listen to you as well. Thank you very much for this brief and nice presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I want to continue with our next speaker, Mr. Frank Lichthart, Vice President, Strategy and Business Development, Sumitomo SHI Foster Wheeler. I guess, Mr. Frank Lichthart, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I can see you now. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Are you ready for the presentation?
Yes, will you share my presentation or will I do it?
Yes, sure. Our
okay.
admin will do it. Full screen, please.
Good morning to all. So my name is Frank Lichthart. I represent the company Sumitomo SHI FW. That's a complicated name, so let's call ourselves SFW. And I would like to use this opportunity to shortly introduce you to our waste to energy solutions. Next. So who is SFW? We are an independent company inside the Sumitomo Heavy Industries Group, which is a big Japanese conglomerate, a $9 billion company. And we are a global provider of energy and environmental technologies and services for the energy industry, also for the waste management industry. We have been around for some time, over 100 years of experience, and we have delivered 850 boiler and flue gas cleaning plants worldwide, mainly for solid fuels, including fossils, biomass fuels, and waste streams. Next, please. So SFW solutions for waste and biomass to energy are characterized by high fuel flexibility and very high efficiency. And I just want to shortly introduce you to our three main solutions. So on the left, you see our circulating fluidized bed combustion technology for large-scale applications that can use a very wide range of solid fuels, including pre-sorted waste streams, biomass fuels, agricultural waste streams. And a CFB, as we call it, is characterized by very high efficiency and very low emissions. Then in the middle, you can see our so-called bubbling fluidized bed combustion technology, BFB, for smaller applications, medium-sized applications, again suitable for a very wide range of solid fuels, including pre-sorted wastes, pulp and paper rejects and sludges, biomass fuels, agricultural waste streams. And a BFB is characterized by its suitability for very low-grade biomass fuels and mixtures of biomass fuels and waste fuels. Then on the right, our third solution in our portfolio for waste to energy, a new development in SFW. It's our modular small-scale energy from waste plant that we bring to the market together with our partner Voima. It's especially suitable for decentralized small-scale energy from waste. It can use municipal solid waste, but also pre-sorted, pre-treated waste streams. And this plant is, or this plant concept is characterized by a very fast delivery time. We can build a complete waste to energy plant within 1.5 years. And it's based on very well proven moving grade combustion technology. Next, please. Just to give you a flavor of where SFW boilers are utilized, what kind of applications here, 4 selected biomass to energy references. I will not go through them in detail, but on the left, you see a typical biomass application, in this case, a BFB boiler for using forestry residues in Finland. Then going to the right, a CFB boiler in Belgium, utilizing recovered waste wood in green electricity production. The next one is an example of using energy crops in electricity production using an SFW BFB designed for 100% eucalyptus wood chips. And then as a last example, a unit in Spain, which is designed for 100% olive waste for green electricity production. So clearly the SFW boiler value proposition is suitable for a very wide range of biomass fuels. Next slide, please. Similarly, a few selected examples of waste to energy plants built by SFW. The 4 plants that I've selected here, they're all based on our circulating fluidized bed combustion technology for very high efficiency conversion of waste into energy. All these plants are utilizing a fuel which is derived from waste, what we call a refuse derived fuel, so a pre-treated waste for energy production. Next slide, please.
2 minutes.
Yes. Few words about the waste Voima concept. So this is a small scale energy from waste concept. Is a standardized waste to energy power plant concept with 1 to 4 combustion lines. One combustion line can treat about 50,000 tons per year of residual municipal solid waste. It's based on a very well proven great combustion technology. But the crux is that the plant is completely pre-engineered and delivered as prefabricated and pre-tested container size modules to the site, which of course then enables very easy, fast and cost-efficient transport and installation anywhere in the world. Next, in my last slide, I just want to summarize the value points of SFW solutions for biomass waste. So I showed you the SFW CFB technology, ideal solution for challenging waste fuels, getting the most energy out of the waste with the lowest environmental impact. Then we have the SFW BFB technology, especially suitable for challenging low-grade biomass fuels, and also enabling the co-firing of other fuels like sludges, paper rejects, and waste fuels. And then I presented the waste Voima solution for small-scale waste to energy, which is a standardized modular solution with a very fast delivery time and enabling the conversion of local waste streams in low carbon energy. Last slide. So if this raised your interest, then please make a screenshot of the contact information. You can either contact myself or my colleague Boguslav so that we can discuss a solution that suits your needs. Thank you very much for your attention.
Mr. Frank Lichthart, thank you very much for this brief presentation.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day. And now I want to continue with our last speaker, Mr. Ari Kokko from Valmet, Director of Technology and R&D. Mr. Kokko, welcome. Screen is yours. You can start.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And good morning, everyone. So my name is Ari Kokko and I'm coming from Valmet Energy Business Unit. I'm heading the technology and R&D here. And today I'm presenting Valmet's high efficiency waste to energy solutions. A couple of words about Valmet first. So we are technology provider, but of course equipment supplier as well in a pulp, paper and energy business segments. We are a global company having a headquarters in Helsinki. Size-wise, we have 14,000 employees and we are roughly 3.5 billion company. We have also, like we have heard today, long history of technology companies. We have a history of more than 200 years. Talking about waste to energy, we are never ever talking about the waste incineration. We are always talking about the waste to energy or waste to power. So we are following this circular economy principle. So it means that all the materials which can be recycled, those are recycled and not put into the boiler. So only the real waste is fired in the boiler, and that is the reasoning for firing is to avoid landfilling. And then this is very much the same story as the previous one. So in a fluidized boilers, and then the BMH presentation. So that let's take all the foreign materials out of the waste and recycle those, and then just putting the waste into the boiler. So also our primary solution is based on fluidized technology. We are offering CFP, circulating fluidized technology, and one one of the biggest benefits of that technology is the high efficiency, and the reason is that we can select quite high steam parameters even with the waste fuels without any risk for corrosion. And secondly, we can also scale up the single line system up to 700,000 tons of RDF per year. And then third element, which is quite important for the customers, is that this fuel flexibility. CFB can take very wide range of waste fuel. So starting from, let's say, 8 megajoules per kilo going up to 30 megajoules per kilo without any changes in a system. And then also it's possible to co-fire other solid fuels. So whatever is available, and that is, of course, minimizing the future risk of the fuels if for some reason the waste fuel is not available in the future. So it can be biomass, it can be local coal, it can be petroleum coke. Of course, this is not good for carbon emission, but it can be also bio-based recycled wood or other fossil fuel. Of course, is the tire waste, which can be used. I don't have any references to show here, but we have more than 300 fluid aspect references, and 40 out of those are using waste as a main fuel. And then one interesting thing is that we have managed to sell several waste-fired CFB boilers to China, to Chinese customer. And the reason is that they wanted to scale up the design, they wanted to have a reliable design, and they wanted to have a high efficiency. Then Valmet waste-to-energy package includes also the full flue gas cleaning system. We have an in-house equipment for flue gas cleaning, and those are Valmet own design and Valmet own delivery. And we can fulfill all the flue gas emission limits anywhere in a globe. And the next element is that everybody knows that the waste is quite a demanding fuel. It's very heterogeneous, so the quality is changing. So the controlling the system is very important. And luckily, Valmet is having our own automation system, Valmet DNA. So we have very sophisticated controls to provide. So that is, we want to have that part of our package. And then the last element is here. It's built on this Valmet DNA automation system, is this Valmet Industrial Internet. Because the system is having these remote connections, we can provide the connection to our Valmet Performance Center to our customers. So not only for startup purposes, but also later on to fine-tune the system or doing some troubleshooting. And this has been very valuable now during this COVID time when the traveling has not been too easy. So we have managed to start up boilers and also solve some customer challenges. So this was very short presentation, like an elevator speech, 5 minutes. But of course, if somebody wants to hear more and go in more details, please contact me. I believe you can find my name from Business Finland. So thank you.
Mr. Ari Kokko, thank you very much. You have just finished on time. Congrats. Thanks again. Now we have finished the Finnish company presentations. Now we will continue with the Turkish company presentations, dear attendees. Now I want to invite our first speaker, Mr. Aslan Değirmenci, Managing Director of İstaç from Istanbul Municipality. Sayın Genel Müdürüm, hoş geldiniz.
Hoş bulduk Feraye Hanım. Günaydın. Nasılsınız?
Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Sağ olun Aslan Bey. Sizleri gördük. Çok daha iyi olduk. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz bizlere bugün katıldığınız için.
Öncelikle ben çok teşekkür ederim. Başta Finlandiya Büyükelçiliği ve Finlandiya Başkonsolosluğu olmak üzere böyle bir imkanı bizlere verdiğiniz için ve davet ettiğiniz için ben emeği geçen herkese öncelikle çok teşekkür ederim.
Biz çok teşekkür ediyoruz bu yoğunluğunuz arasında bizlere vakit ayırdığınız için Sayın Genel Müdürüm. Ben ekranı hemen size bırakıyorum. Biliyorum bir toplantınız da var. Buyurun efendim.
Teşekkürler. Evet. İSTAÇ öncelikle İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi'nin 30 tane iştirak şirketinden ve en büyük 3 tanesinden bir tanesi. Misyonumuz gelecek nesillere yaşanabilir şehirler miras bırakmak. Vizyonumuz da sürdürülebilir bir ekonomi, sıfır atık üreten şehirler ve karbon ayak izini en aza indirgemek için ulusal ve uluslararası alanda önde gelen kuruluşlardan, lider kuruluşlardan birisi olmak. Zaten İSTAŞ Türkiye'nin atık ve çevre yönetimi konusunda da şu anda halihazırdaki en büyük şirketi. Ben hızlıca kısa sürede faaliyet alanlarımızdan bahsedeceğim. 14 tane başlığımız var. En büyük operasyonumuz evsel atık yönetimi dediğimiz. 8 tane aktarma merkezinden yaklaşık 200'ün üzerindeki araç filomuzla düzenli depolama sahalarına, şu anda da 3 tane düzenli depolama sahamız var. Buradan geri kazanım ve kompost üretimine, halihazırda mevcutta 2 tane geri kazanım ve kompost tesisimiz var. Gemi atıkları, Boğaz'dan her iki yönden geçen gemilerin hem katı hem sıvı atıklarını toplayıp bunları diğer bir iştirak şirketimiz vasıtasıyla atık yağı ve atık solvente dönüştürüyoruz ve çimento sektörüne de yakıt olarak iletiyoruz. Tıbbi atık yönetimi İstanbul genelinde yaklaşık 9.000 üzerindeki sağlık kuruluşundan düzenli olarak tıbbi atıklarını toplayıp bunları sterilizasyon yöntemiyle veya yakma yöntemiyle bertaraf ediyoruz. Endüstriyel atık yönetimi gene tehlikeli atıklar kapsamında bulunan endüstriyel atıkları kurumlardan, firmalardan alarak kendimiz veya kendi bertaraf etme yöntemimiz yeterli gelmediği noktalarda İzaydaş vasıtasıyla bertaraf ediyoruz. Hem Anadolu yakasında hem Avrupa yakasında hafriyat atıklarını yönetiyoruz. Hafriyat sahalarını düzenliyoruz. Büyükşehir Belediyesi'nin sorumluluk alanında olan ana arterlerde ve caddelerde, sokaklarda ve meydanlarda kent temizliği yapıyoruz. Bunu hem mekanik araçlarımızla hem de personelimizle yürütüyoruz. Avrupa yakasında ve Anadolu yakasında birer tane büyük meyve sebze hali var. Bunların düzenli olarak temizliği gene bizim sorumluluğumuzda. Boğaz'ın ve Marmara'ya kıyısı olan alanlarda deniz yüzeyi teknelerimizle mevcut 11 tane deniz yüzeyi temizleme aracımız var. Düzenli olarak deniz üzerindeki kirliliğe müdahale edip bunları toplayıp düzenli depolama sahalarına gönderiyoruz. İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi'nin 515 kilometrelik sorumluluk alanında olan kıyıları gene düzenli olarak hem mekanik hem de elle çalışan personelimiz aracılığıyla düzenli olarak temizlenmekte. En büyük operasyonlarımızdan biri yavaş yavaş İSTAÇ bir atık ve çevre yönetimi şirketinden bir enerji şirketine de doğru da evrilmeye başladı. Hem metan gazından elde ettiğimiz enerji üretim tesisleriyle hem de evsel atık yakma tesisimizle ciddi oranda enerji üretiyoruz ve karbon kredisi kazanıyoruz. TÜRK'a akredite olan laboratuvarımızla atık ve çevre konusunda birçok tetkiki, birçok deneyi, birçok değerlendirmeyi kendi laboratuvarımızda yapabiliyoruz. Ulusal ve uluslararası arenada hem yapım hem danışmanlık hizmetleri veriyoruz. Şu anda yurt dışında takipte olduğumuz 3 proje, Türkiye genelinde 4 projemiz var. Bunlarla ilgili önümüzdeki günlerde inşallah olumlu haberler almayı bekliyoruz. Bunlar genel olarak bahsettiğim gibi bizim faaliyet alanlarımız. Burada da o faaliyet alanlarının sadece çok kısa bir özet bilgisi var. Biz 6 ana başlık altında İstanbul'un atık ve çevre yönetim stratejisini belirledik. Ekrem Başkanımızın C40 şehirleriyle yapmış olduğu mutabakatta ve vermiş olduğu taahhütte 2050 yılında artık düzenli depolama sahalarına atık sevk etmeyeceğiz. Yani sıfır atık kapsamında 2050 yılına geldiğimizde inşallah İstanbul'da hiçbir atığı depolamadan ya geri dönüştüreceğiz, ya bertaraf edeceğiz, ya da geri kazanacağız, enerjiye dönüştüreceğiz. Bu çerçevede bizim stratejik olarak düzenli depolama sahalarında iyileştirmelerimiz, bertaraf yakma planlamamız, şu anda faal bir yakma tesisimiz var. İkincisi için görüşmelerimiz, çalışmalarımız devam ediyor. Geri dönüşüm tesislerimiz var. Bu tesislerin sayısını ve kapasitesini arttırma yönünde çalışmalarımız var. Gene geri kazanım tesislerimiz var. Bunların gene sayı ve kapasitelerini arttırma yönünde, yeni yatırımlar yapma yönünde projelerimiz var. Yenilenebilir enerjiye çok önem veriyoruz. Dolayısıyla tüm atıklarımızı, artık atıklarımızı atık bile demiyoruz. Biz onları ham madde olarak görüyoruz. İstanbul'da toplanan tüm atıkları bir ham madde bakış açısıyla değerlendirmek düşüncesiyle bütün çalışmalarını yapıyoruz. Ve dolayısıyla bunları yaptığımızda da çok ciddi oranda karbon emisyonunda da bir azaltım, bir salımda azaltma öngörüyoruz. Bunlardan en önemlisi fotoğrafta gördüğünüz Türkiye'nin ilk Avrupa'nın en büyük evsel atık yakma tesisi. Günde 3000 ton evsel atığı yakarak, bertaraf ederek yılda da yaklaşık 1 milyon ton kapasite işleme kapasitesine sahip bu tesis. Dediğim gibi Türkiye'nin ilk, Avrupa'nın da en büyük tesisi. Şu anda 78 megawatt enerji üretim kapasitesiyle faal. Bu da yaklaşık 1,4 milyon hanenin elektrik enerjisini karşılıyor demek. Bunun bir benzerini de Avrupa yakasında, Kemerburgaz'daki bu tesisin bir benzerini de Anadolu yakasında yapmayı planlıyoruz. Çok teşekkür ederim. Ben tekrar bize vakit ayırdığınız ve dinlediğiniz için.
Sayın Genel Müdürüm, harika, tam zamanında 5 dakikada toparladınız. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz bu güzel sunum için ve bizlere vakit ayırdığınız için. Tekrar inşallah yüz yüze görüşme imkanımız olur Sayın Genel Müdürüm.
Ne zaman
Fiziki
isterseniz.
etkinliklerde.
Seve seve.
Sağ olun efendim. I would like to thank to General Manager of İstaç, Mr. Aslan Değirmenci. We are proud of İstaç and its successful activities. We wish you continue to success, Mr. Aslan Değirmenci. Thank you very much again. Dear attendees, now I want to continue with our second Turkish company. I want to invite Mr. Atay Arpacıoğulları, General Manager of Consus Energy. Mr. Atay, good morning. Merhabalar, hoş geldiniz efendim. Sizleri görmek çok güzel.
Sağ olun, sizleri de.
Buyurun efendim, ekran sizlerin. Bir 5-6 dakikamız var. Buyurun efendim.
Thanks a lot. And hello everyone. I'm the CEO of Consus Energy. Consus Energy is a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Investment Holdings. We have mainly investments in two different sectors, one renewable and the second is distributed power. In renewable, we have solar and biomass, and I will give you more detail about our biomass operations. In distributed power, we own the largest ESCO energy service company in Turkey, providing build and operate cogeneration and three-generation facilities for end consumers. Our total installed capacity under management is around 94 megawatts. And our operations are distributed throughout the country, from west to east, from north to south. I will leave you with some pictures of our facilities while I speak in more detail about our operations. Our biomass plants has a total of 30 megawatts in 3 locations. We located our biomass plants in places where agricultural activity is the highest, because we mostly consume agricultural residues or some forest residues which has no alternative use. we focus on corn stalk, and mostly tree stumps. We collect and consume around 300,000 tons of biomass per annum, and which corresponds to 50 hectares of land. I mean, we touch 50 hectares of land each year either with our equipment or with our suppliers' equipment. We're using conventional moving rate boilers technology with a steam turbine. So that's probably everybody knows about that. But I think our differentiating factor is that we focused on using mostly local equipment, supporting local manufacturers where we could do that. I think one other differentiating factor is that we collect a substantial portion of our biomass with our own equipment and with our own personnel. I think we have the largest agricultural equipment fleet in Turkey, or if not one of the largest, including combines, rakes, bales, and all kinds of equipment that is required to collect these stalks from the farmers' areas. And of course, the biggest challenge about biomass is seasonality. The harvest season is 60 days, 90 days tops, and you have to collect a year's supply within that limited time frame. So it creates a big bottleneck. So you have to plan very carefully. So we are using our own equipment and our personnel, in addition to a comprehensive procurement and supply using our solution partners and suppliers. We have agreements with private farms, state institutions, including the Forestry Directorate, the Agricultural Directorate of Turkey, which in order to create a long-term supply security for our plants. Of course, biomass is still a niche sector in Turkey, but a developing sector. I think one of the largest important things is that besides the environmental and economic values, I think the employment, we have to talk about it. Per megawatt installed capacity, biomass has the highest employment rates. Also considering the employment that it creates on the supply side, it's significant, and it creates a significant support also regionally. I think the integrated approach to collect, to handle, and to operate the plants is required in biomass sector. I think that was our strategy while entering this sectors, and I think we have managed to create a supply chain that will create a long-term visibility for our operations. Last but not least, I also want to mention about our distributed power portfolio, because we have the largest energy service company in our portfolio with 54 megawatts in 8 locations. We are building and operating cogeneration facilities and regeneration facilities for our end consumers, providing their electricity, heat, and cooling. But I think we are also under reviewing some opportunities where this ESCO plan strategy can be applied using the waste. So a lot of manufacturers, a lot of factories has their waste, produces waste, and somehow tries to dispose that waste. If a build and operate model can be applied using the waste to energy technologies in these factories, I think there can be significant potential for Turkey, aside from the IPPs, I mean independent power producers, so that the factories can produce their own electricity heat for their manufacturing purposes. This can be a significant opportunity for Turkey as well. So I think that's all from my side. Feraye Hanım, dear attendees, I think I finished on time. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.
Dear Mr. Atay, thank you very much for ending just on time. Thanks a lot. Now I want to continue with our next Turkish company. I want to invite Mehmet Kızılbulut, plant manager of Çimentaş Group. Mr. Kızılbulut, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And good morning to everybody. So I am representing Çimentaş Trakya cement plant, which is located in Turkey, in Edirne. And Çimentaş is subsidiary of Cementir Group, which is Italian group. The plant capacity is 2 million tons of cement per year. So I want to give this rough figures to understand the capacity. Cement industry, as you all know, that is energy intensive sector. So to understand the meaning of energy intensive, what does it mean? I can give you roughly the variable cost structure of the variable cost. The 85% of the variable cost consists of energy. Only about 15% is consists of raw materials. This means that the 85%, roughly 50% is heat energy, and about 35% is electrical energy. So we are concentrated on the heat energy. So we are replacing, as of today, as of year today, 55% of the heat energy is replaced by alternative fuel. I am saying alternative fuel, I am not saying waste. As it was indicated in the beginning of the speech, that it was said that we don't have waste. The waste is not waste. So we are dividing the waste into the waste that can be used as fuel. We are calling this as alternative fuel, and the waste that can be used as raw material, we are calling it as alternative raw material. So we don't have any more waste. So we are zero waste logic in the plant. And the raw materials also, we are using about 10% of the raw materials also is replaced by alternative raw materials. What are these alternative fuels and what are these alternative raw materials? We are using as alternative fuels more than 100,000 tons per year. These are waste tires, SRF, RDF, dry sludge, waste oil, so on. And all this, the utilizing of all this alternative fuels are 110,000 tons per year. As alternative raw materials, we are using about 60,000 tons of alternative raw materials per year, which are phosphogypsum, which are pyrite ash, which are bottom ash. All the bottom ash in the region, we are collected them, and this is good also for environment. We are cleaning the environment. So we are working with zero waste logic, and we don't have any waste. And we are doing all this by using all the standards and according to Turkish and European regulations and standards, according to health and safety regulations and standards, according to environment regulations, and according to quality standards and regulations. Roughly, this is all for me. Thank you to all the participants.
Mr. Mehmet Kızılbulut, thank you very much for this informative and short and brief speech. We are very happy to know you, to meet you for the first time, even it is online. Thank you very much for your time and joining us. Hope to see you on physical events in the near future.
Thank you for the invitation. See you again.
It's our pleasure.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to continue with our last speaker, dear attendees. I want to invite Mustafa Ozan Öztürker, Research and Development Manager of ITC Turkey. Mr. Mustafa Ozan, are you with us? I will try to contact Mr. Mustafa Ozan Öztürker.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mustafa Bey, now we can hear you. Sorry.
I cannot start the video, unfortunately, but I don't know why.
Okay, let's try again. Can you open your video, your cam also?
Now it's okay. Now I am.
Okay, we can see you. Welcome, hoş geldiniz.
Thank you, hoş bulduk. Teşekkür ederim.
Biz teşekkür ederiz katıldığınız için. If you are having some technical problems with opening the presentation, we can help you.
Now I can share.
Okay, I think it's working. Okay. Tamamdır. Buyurun.
Right to the beginning. Morning, everyone. Again, I'm Ozan Öztürker. I'm the R&D Director of ITC. ITC is the waste management company who invented I think the first company who invented in this business and doing the business in a professional and modern aspect for the first time in Turkey. More than 20 years we have been doing this business in Turkey. At the moment we are operating 14 plants in 11 different cities with 1,400 employees. Approximately, I can say that we treat every day 30% of the whole Turkey waste, household waste. And you can see the capacity of our plants. Unfortunately, in Turkey, all household waste are collected. Not all household waste are not source separated. So we have to deal with a very challenging and difficult waste here. And we have to adapt and find out proper solutions for such a waste. We can, but at the end of the day, we can now generate electricity, we can do recycling, we can do RDF production and also waste heat management. But first of all, besides all this, our first priority is the rehabilitation of the landfill, because in each project, at first we have something like a whole wide landfill. This photo is from the Mamak, the first project of ours in capital city of Ankara, and it turned out to be such a plant at the end of the day. This is the landfill site of Mamak, and we are also surrounded by shopping malls and residential buildings now. This is also another view of Mamak, Ankara capital city, and this is the Adana city. This is the same story here also. It is how it started at the end and turned out to be such a plant at the end of the day. This is the satellite view, as you might see. During the startup phase, there was nothing but landfill. Now it's a residential area. So as I mentioned, we have 14 plants. We consider 6 of them as integrated solid waste plants. What I mean is in 6 of these plants, we have sorting units, we have biomethanization. As you might see, our digesters is concrete digesters, plug flow digesters. We call it biomethanization and landfill operation. This is we have 2 plants in Ankara. This is Sincan plant. You may see the capacity of electricity production also. This is, as I mentioned, Mamak plant, the other plant in Ankara. This is this is Antalya plant. This is Adana plant. This is Eskişehir plant. Try to be fast. Yozgat plant and Alanya plant, also in Antalya city. The other 8 of them is only electricity production from landfill. This is not our preferences, but this is depend on the tender specification. So in these 8 plants, we only produce from landfill gas. So this is Bursa, Konya, Elazığ, Alanya, Bingöl, Çarşamba, and Aksaray plants. And overall, we have a capacity like 125 megawatts. Besides household waste business, we also deal with medical waste treatments in 3 cities, in Ankara, in Adana and Alanya, in Antalya. In Ankara, we have an incineration plant. We do incinerate medical waste. In Adana and in Antalya, we have sterilization units. In Ankara also, we also incinerate industrial waste and also hazardous waste. We have an incineration plant in Ankara. We do also have packaging waste management system, just going fast. And we do also use the waste heat utilization systems. We have greenhouses. You may see some of our products going fast, to be on time. And in Ankara, we do also have a tissue laboratory, which is integrated with a very modern greenhouse. We have several products. We can produce several plants here, but our main issue is, our main concentration is potato, because after the tissue laboratory, we produce potato out here in our greenhouse. So we do also sell our waste to IKEA in Ankara, in Mamak plant. As an R&D, these are our new projects, new investments to be done within this year and next year. We are planning these investments. And also, as R&D, I'm mainly focusing on nowadays on greenhouse, vertical farming, plastic granulation. This is also one of our topic. Solar systems, biogas upgrading, biofuel cells, and we have a new company in Austria to follow up some EPC projects around the world for the similar waste of ours. Thank you for your time.
Mustafa Bey, thank you very much. Actually, before ending the session, there is one question for you. If you have time, I want to ask the question to you. First of all, I want to ask it in Turkish. Digester'dan çıktı ürününün değerlendirilmesi konusunda nasıl bir çalışma yürütülmektedir? Çıkan atıkların doğrudan depolanmasına alternatif gerçekleştirilmekte midir? Demiş Salih Taşçı, Van Büyükşehir Belediyesi'nden Mustafa Bey.
So shall I İngilizce mi devam edeyim, Türkçe mi?
Nasıl arzu ederseniz, simultane çeviri var. Ben çabuk olması için Türkçe yönelttim size.
Ben
İsterseniz Türkçe devam edin.
Tamam. Yani şimdi maalesef biz önden bir mekanik ayrıştırma yapıp daha sonra digester'a organik kısmı koyuyoruz, ama bu mekanik ayrıştırma tamamen karışık toplandığı için hiçbir zaman organik kısmı %100 olmuyor. Ve bu organik kısım içinde ciddi yabancı maddeler var. Engelleyemediğimiz plastik gibi, cam gibi. Biz bu digester'dan fermente edilmiş atıkları daha sonra ikiye ayırıyoruz, katı ve sıvı faz olarak. Sıvı fazı sıvı fazı atık su arıtma tesislerine gönderiyoruz. Katı fazı bir ara kompost için değerlendirmek üzere çalışmalar yaptık. Böyle bir tesisimiz de var. Fakat o kadar az kompost, yani tarlaya konabilecek veya bahçeye konabilecek o kadar az kompost elde edebiliyoruz ki bu kirleticiler yüzünden kabaca. Burada bir fizibilite veya bir finansal durumdan bahsetmek mümkün olmuyor. Açıkçası kompost elde etmek çok sürdürülebilir bir şey olmuyor bizim atığımızdan. Bizim tecrübemiz bu yönde açıkçası.
Evet. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz Mustafa Bey. We have very limited time, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So I want to have one more question. Mehmet Kızılbulut, Mehmet Bey bizimle misiniz hala? Size bir soru var efendim, müsaitseniz.
Buyurun tabii ki.
Ben soruyu Türkçe'ye yönelteyim, çok çabuk ilerleyelim. Arıtma çamurlarının değerlendirilmesi için yürütülen veya yürütülecek bir çalışma var mıdır? Çamurun nemli olması sorununa yönelik bir inovasyon çalışmanız var mı? Yine Salih Bey'den gelmiş bu soru efendim sizlere.
teşekkür ederim soru için. Biz arıtma çamuru sunumunda da belirttiğim gibi kuru dry sludge demiştim ben. Yani kurutulmuş, işlenmiş haliyle bize geliyor.
Evet.
Kurutulmuş, işlenmiş haliyle silobaslarla geliyor. Silobaslarla siloya basıyoruz. Oradan da pneumatik olarak sisteme basıyoruz. Yani tamamen kapalı ortamda geliyor ve kuru olarak geliyor. Biz burada yaş olarak alıp işlemiyoruz.
Evet. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz Mehmet Bey. Thank you very much for your answer. Sayın Genel Müdürümüz Aslan Değirmenci aramızdaysa bir soru var kendilerine. Aslan Bey hattımızda mısınız? Çok özür diliyorum Sayın Genel Müdürüm. Bir soru da size gelmiş. Çok kısa bir soru, ben o yüzden hem İngilizce hem Türkçe aktarayım ki Finli meslektaşlarımız da anlayabilsin. İkinci yakma tesisi nereye, hangi kapasite ile yapılması planlanıyor ve ne zaman yapılması planlanıyor diye, öngörülüyor diye sormuşlar. Where and with what capacity is the second incineration plant to be built diyebiliriz. When it is expected to be done, Mr. General Manager?
Şile Kömürcüoda Anadolu yakasındaki düzenli depolama sahamızda yapmayı düşünüyoruz. Yine aynı kapasitede olacak. Günlük 3000 ton, yıllık 1 milyon ton kapasiteli. Hedefimiz önümüzdeki yıl içinde ihalesini sonuçlandırıp sene sonuna kadar temelini atıp 3 yıl içinde de devreye alacak şekilde bir planlama yapmaya çalışıyoruz.
Çok teşekkür ederiz cevap için ve katıldığınız için. Ben, if you don't mind, we have exceeded our time, so I want to close the session now. If you have any questions, you can reach us and send your questions written. I would like to thank to all our speakers who participated and added value to our online Waste to Energy event with their speeches and presentations and answers today. Before ending this session, last note from my side. On November 3, on November 3rd, we will have another online event titled Industrial Energy Efficiency, again in cooperation with Finland Embassy, Business Finland and Team Finland. I would like to invite all of you to this event in advance. We wish you a happy and successful week with your loved ones. Thank you very much for to all of you for joining us today and for your time. Goodbye.
Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkürler.
Teşekkür ederim efendim.
Thank you.
Sağ olun herkese. Çok teşekkür ediyorum efendim. Herkese iyi günler, sağlıklı günler diliyorum.
İyi günler, kolay gelsin.
Sağ olun.
Teşekkürler, iyi günler.
Halil Bey, sizlere de çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Kapalı sesiniz ama
rica ederim.
Çok memnun oldum tanıştığıma.
Tebrik ediyorum.